If you earn over £90,000 in the UK, there's a very real chance you're quietly losing thousands of pounds every year, not because of bad investments, but because you're using the right accounts in the wrong order. You might already have an ISA, a pension, maybe both. It looks responsible. But for most people watching this, the answer is not what you think. Which one you fund first determines how much of your own money you actually keep. By the end of this video, you'll know your answer based on your tax rate and your situation. My name is Mark, and welcome back to Wealth Architecture. Let's get into it. 15 million people in the UK hold an ISA. HMRC's own data. 15 million people saving regularly, feeling like they're doing the right thing. And most of them are. The ISA is a powerful tool. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals. Simple and clean. But here is the uncomfortable truth almost nobody talks about. If you are a higher rate taxpayer, paying 40% income tax, putting money into an ISA before your pension could be costing you thousands of pounds every single year. Not because of a bad investment, because you used the right vehicle in the wrong order. Why does this happen? There are three reasons this keeps happening. The ISA is simple and heavily marketed. It feels obvious. And when something feels obvious, we stop questioning it. Most people don't truly understand what pension tax relief means at their income level. They've heard the words, they've never seen the numbers. And there's a threshold in the tax system that most higher earners walk straight into. If your income is anywhere near £100,000, it changes everything. Let's start with the thing most 40% taxpayers are missing. When you contribute to a pension, the government returns the income tax you paid on that money. Your provider claims basic rate relief, 20%, and adds it to your pot. You put in £80, 100 lands in the pension. That's the part most people know. Here's the part most people don't. Higher rate taxpayers are entitled to an additional 20% relief. Your provider does not claim this automatically. You must reclaim it yourself through self-assessment or HMRC directly. HMRC allows backdating for up to 4 years. If you haven't been claiming this, check today. The full picture for a 40% taxpayer. You contribute £60. Provider claims 20. You reclaim 20. £100 in the pension. Net cost to you, £60. Now compare that to the ISA. £100 in an ISA costs £100. No relief on the way in. None. For a higher rate taxpayer, the ISA costs 66% more to fund than a pension. Pound for pound. This is the moment most people pause, because this is where the numbers start to matter. I want to tell you about a tax rate most people in the UK have never heard of. It's not 20%, it's not 40, it's 60. And most people paying it don't even realize. If your income sits between £100,000 and £125,000, £140, you're already paying it, whether you know it or not. Your personal allowance starts to disappear once your income exceeds £100,000. For every £2 you earn over £100,000, you lose £1 of your personal allowance. For every extra pound in that band, 40p in income tax plus 20p from the lost allowance. For every extra pound you earn in that range, you keep just 40p. 60p goes in tax. Pension contributions reduce your adjusted net income. A gross contribution of £20,000 on a salary of £120,000, adjusted net income drops to £100,000. Personal allowance restored. Effective relief 60%. I want to be clear. This is not an anti-ISA video. The ISA is accessible. Any age, any time, any reason. Tax-free in, tax-free out. That flexibility is genuinely valuable, and the pension cannot match it. No income tax on withdrawals, no capital gains tax on growth, no dividend tax inside the wrapper. And that protection is permanent. The ISA's one weakness: no tax relief on the way in. You fund it from already taxed income. For a higher rate taxpayer, that is a real structural cost. But it's offset by everything the ISA gives you on the way out. Beyond tax relief, 3 more things worth knowing. 25% of the pension pot comes out completely tax-free when you draw it. On a £200,000 pension, that's £50,000 you never pay tax on. The rest is taxable. But in retirement, on a lower income, you may be paying 20% on money sheltered at 40. That deferred advantage compounds significantly over time. And employer contributions. If your employer matches any part of your pension, you take it. Every single time. That is the only genuinely free money you will ever be offered. The pension has real limitations. I won't pretend otherwise. Access. You can't touch it before 55 today, rising to 57 in April 2028. If you plan to stop work before then, you need ISA money to bridge that gap. If your adjusted income exceeds $260,000, the tapered annual allowance reduces your contribution limit. The pension alone can't carry everything at that level. And policy risk is real. 2 people, same employer, same salary, £120,000, both saving £20,000 this year. Rachel puts the full $20,000 into a stocks and shares ISA. Sensible, straightforward. This is where the difference becomes real. Daniel looks at the structure first. He's in the taper zone. He makes a gross pension contribution of $20,000. Adjusted net income drops to $100,000. Personal allowance restored. After higher rate relief through self-assessment, his net cost $12,000. The full $20,000 sits in the pension. He puts the remaining $8,000 into his ISA. Daniel has £8,000 more working for him from the same salary in the same year just by changing the order. That's not investment performance, that's structure. The other half of this decision is getting the money out. When you draw your pension, 25% comes out tax-free. The rest is taxable in the year you take it. In retirement, on a lower income, much of it may fall within your personal allowance or at 20% basic rate. On money sheltered, at 40%. But draw too much in a single year and you push yourself back up the tax bands. The ISA has no withdrawal tax, ever, at any level. Pension for bulk, ISA for the gaps. Together, you control your taxable income year by year. Separately, you're working with one hand behind your back. 4 things that go wrong. First, funding the ISA before the pension, because it's simpler. That simplicity is costing you 40% tax relief on every pound. Second, not claiming the higher rate pension relief. Nobody claims it for you. Third, ignoring the £100,000 threshold. If your income is near that figure, you're almost certainly overpaying tax. Fourth, overfunding the pension at the expense of accessible cash, ISA or pension. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, pension first, capture the tax relief, deal with the taper. Take the employer match, then the ISA, for flexibility, accessibility, 2 halves of the same plan, and the difference between the right order and the wrong one can be £50,000, £80,000, more, not through risk, just through structure. And in the next video, we'll look at one of the most important and most misunderstood parts of the UK tax system, the £100,000 tax trap, and why earning more can actually leave you worse off, including how high earners can legally avoid paying an effective 60% tax rate. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.